Oh, the woes of the producer's life. Video cut out because the computer's garbage. My new computer never came. The money never got spent on what I had spent it on. So I don't know what happened. So I'm having trouble. Now I have to do the rest of this segment of Am I Wrong Now with you guys. I don't know where I'll load these two pieces up. Don't know if it'll be YouTube now or Facebook. Somebody else down the road is going to get to put the pieces together to get the whole video made right. So that means I'll probably have to do a separate video where I'm just reading the poem. Hopefully it don't cut out then. I'll reboot and then do it. Okay, so it cut out at that line here. Okay, so I start here. No need to get angry and have a tantrum. Raise your voice and have to shout till you run away. Am I wrong to want the kind of man who has plenty of nice things that he is always opening his mouth to say? Am I wrong to want the kind of man who respects his children enough, and I mean at all costs, not to do things like swearing in front of them regardless of the anger? Am I wrong to want the kind of man who respects his wife enough not to swear at her or insult her whenever he is angry about something he didn't like having heard her say? I mean, nobody is perfect anyway. Am I wrong to want the kind of man who can cook a nice meal for the family every once in a while, even if his menu of meals is limited? For it's the effort and the thought that counts. God bless those little things, for they really do count. Am I wrong to want the kind of man who isn't an animal and actually remembers to brush his teeth on his own every night? Yuck. I mean, who wants to have to shout out from their bed every night, "Honey, did you remember to brush your teeth?" Am I wrong to want the kind of man who doesn't make life hell when he's doing something he doesn't like to do? Things that most people dislike about life but still need to do, like sharing in the regular chores of cleaning up around the house. Just because some women make good wives and do these things doesn't mean they like it at all. What good would it do if they complained too much about it too? It doesn't change the reality of life and the things that have to be done. Am I wrong to want the kind of man who can and will talk about how we're going to pay off our debts? Am I wrong to want the kind of man who brings his wife home a rose or flowers to fill that empty vase every once in a while? Am I wrong to want the kind of man who shows his appreciation frequently for what he knows he has, knowing we are special? Am I wrong to want the kind of man who kisses me every day? I mean to say, as long as he doesn't have strep throat, he's remembered to brush his teeth. Am I wrong to want the kind of man who has some self-control about how many hours he works in a day? Am I wrong to want the kind of man who knows there is more to life than working so hard for only a limited amount of money? I mean, it's one thing to want to pay your bills, but this is ridiculous, honey. Am I wrong to want the kind of man who can be satisfied with right where he's at if it means being around his family more, where he'd much rather be anyway? Am I wrong to want the kind of man who wants to walk the dog because he thinks it's fun to do? None of this pulling teeth stuff to get him to do it. But honey, it's cold outside. Or it's Sunday, it's the day of rest. Am I wrong to want the kind of man who can remember when the last time was he took his daughter to the park? Because he takes her so regularly, the way a good father should? Am I wrong to want the kind of man who is being a good enough person to put aside his petty fears or minor frights or things like water? Nobody said you had to swim deep, so that his children can have wonderful fun memories with him when they went to the beach or to the swimming pool. Am I wrong to want the kind of man who wants to go places together? And I don't mean to the shopping mall or the movies. How about a picnic in the country? A weekend getaway for fun for the whole family, or a trip to Greece? Doesn't take all that much to romance the wife good every once in a while, so why is it so hard for so many of you to do? Am I wrong with wanting to feel or hear or know the words he's thinking are, I love you too? Am I so wrong? How come, even with this list already being so long, I can still go on? For him to always just keep coming to you and saying, I know, honey, just doesn't cut it. Just won't do. So answer me one other thing then. Why the heck should I, or should any of us, stay in situations that continue on this way? No. It's a sign right away, to get out. Anyways, am I wrong to want the kind of man? Am I wrong to want that good kind of man? Am I wrong? So there you have it. I could actually see a whole play, stage performance going on. I'm just not sure which actor is vying to play the part of the guy in the background who's doing all the good things that I'm talking about in the story. So there'd be two stories going on. The guy that gets it wrong all the time, that keeps trying and make it up, but never actually tries to make it up. He just keeps saying, I know, honey, I'll do it, I promise, it'll get done, and never does. Versus the guy that does all that stuff right, and how he's with a girl maybe that gets all that stuff wrong, and vice versa. And so it's about getting them to turn around and look at each other, kapoosh, right guy, right girl, right kapoosh, in the story. Right? It's about breaking up with people, knowing it's okay to break up, knowing when to break up, knowing why to break up. See, the Bible doesn't say you have to stay together. That's a misconception of the scripture's meaning. God has specifically laid out rules of what kinds of relationships would be considered in situations that you could leave that affair with. There's lots of things that God's like, okay, this counts, you can get out. The first sign of abuse, the very first time you've been hurt, whether it's physical, social, mental, emotional, financial, you can leave. You don't have to stay and go to counseling. You can leave. The second he commits adultery in his heart with another woman, you can leave. The second you do it, you can leave. You can tell him, I have feelings for another man. Which could be some guy you don't know. It could be at a red light somewhere in a car and you're having instant fantasies with the guy you just saw in the car next to you during a red light. You may not even know who he is, but you still had these feelings. Because it's telling you want something else, something more. So people are misunderstanding the messages in the Bible about what is okay to leave a relationship on. It's automatic abuse, violence, mental cruelty, social financial cruelty, psychological cruelty. It's all automatic. Right? If the pain you've felt, the hurt you've been caused is not good, it's unhealthy, and counseling isn't what you're looking for the kind of hurt and damage that's now been done to you, then get out. Because in that play in my head, there's obviously somebody who's getting it right, looking for the girl that needs it right, who's getting it wrong from the girl he's with, and you're both tired of that, and you want what's right. So I didn't think about using that poem as a story until just now as I was reading it today. So I'll probably do it again, hopefully from beginning to end with no cutoffs, but this is now done between the two videos. I'm at 10. So I got my number 17 done. Peace out, Superwoman, Burden of Truth TV series, episode specially made around my true story and around my writing skills and about my life or the life of those I've known and been around so that I can talk about it. Peace out, everyone. Thanks for watching. Keep coming back. Subscribe and tell everybody else to subscribe too so I can get to real creator level and do it naturally, the old-fashioned way and not cheat with apps and other programs to get me that. Thanks. Superman signing out.